Okay, in the sleeper cell video I just did, I briefly mentioned the use of multiple communications platforms. Again, just having and keeping comms established with your group, no matter how far away they are, and encouraged everything from messaging apps to HF radio. Well, through that network, we got messages from one of our group members out in Idaho who was like, hey guys, just for everyone's SA, there was an active shooter incident on the fire department personnel in one of the surrounding counties where he lives. So let's get into that. So first off, and most importantly, our deepest condolences and most powerful prayers to the family members of all those who were killed or injured in this absolutely horrific event. If you aren't direct about this, it has now been resolved with the reported shooter being dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And all this took place in Kootenai County on Canfield Mountain in Idaho, which is roughly about 30 miles from Spokane, Washington. So in this incident, the suspect set a wildfire to apparently lure first responders to the scene, and then from an elevated position, acting as a sniper, reportedly dressed in camouflage, he just opened fire on the arriving firefighters and subsequent police officers that arrived on scene. Now, this is completely unconfirmed, but the dude in our group reported that police had made contact with two subjects, quote, creeping around wearing ghillie suits the day prior to the shooting in that same area. Obviously, this scene was extremely complex and about as dynamic as you can get, which is one of the key components we teach in our active shooter response courses. But I literally just talked about how sleeper cells operate and the types of activities they utilize. And this has all the indications of at least being an event where some pre-planning was conducted.
So right now, there's an active shooter zone. They're shot. BC3's down. BC1's down. Everybody's shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here. Careful, we've got another Coeur d'Alene firefighter down. Needs help immediately. We need law enforcement immediately. Then immediately up here, we've got two unresponsive battalion chiefs, gunshot wounds, multiple gunshot wounds. Two Coeur d'Alene firefighters are down. We need law enforcement to get up here. We could possibly get the two wounded out. I'm pinned down behind Battalion 1's rig. It's clear to me that this fire was set intentionally to draw us in. Central from BC5, we're going to need multiple ambulances for ALS care as soon as we can get law enforcement in here to get these people out. I recommend we get no less than five ambulances staged at the bottom. I don't care where we get them from. I've got 3 that I know, 4 that I'm positive of all people that are going to need help. There's also some other pickups here. We could have pedestrians and standby bystanders that need help.
Now, one of the big things about this is we know this isn't the first time something like this has happened. We know this is a tactic that is utilized. When I was in New York City post 9/11, we would almost routinely get called to suspicious packages, and I think I was on 2 or 3 of them that were actually something, but some of them were just completely unfounded, callback number, no one to make contact with, and it was kind of, common knowledge and understood that terrorist cells were probably conducting surveillance on us to ascertain things like our response time, our travel routes, and even staging locations. So I just said this wasn't the first time something almost exactly like this has happened in the past. A lot of people are not familiar with the incident in Webster, New York, and that is probably understandably so. And that's because the Sandy Hook school shooting took place just 10 days prior to that incident. But I reference and debrief the Webster, New York event in our active shooter response course. So if you're not overly familiar with this one, this occurred on December 24th, 2012. And in this incident, the suspect deliberately set his house and vehicle on fire to lure firefighters and police to the scene. And then, just like the suspect in Idaho, he was also in a position of advantage, and then he opened fire. Again, with a rifle, killing 2 firefighters and injuring 2 police officers. And then apparently, just like with this Idaho incident, these guys can't deal with actual confrontation. He killed himself as well, just like the suspect in Idaho did. But let's listen to the audio from this.
125 to dispatcher. 125. 125 to dispatcher. 125.
We are being shot at. Multiple firemen down. Multiple firemen shot. I am shot. I think we need an assault rifle. We have multiple firemen down. Working fire. Multiple fire shot with a firearm.
Understood. 1C32 to copy. Multiple firemen down. Multiple firemen shot with a working fire. 124 to the fire dispatcher. Continuing to be fired. Shots still being fired. 1C72 to the dispatcher. Going, sir. Multiple ambulances on the way.
3272, make sure you let me know when you need the ambulance. 1C32 to the fire dispatcher, make sure we have ALS on this.
Multiple ALS ambulances on the way to the scene.
Firefighter 312 to dispatcher.
1C4.
I'm pretty sure we have 2 DOAs in the street. I made it 2 doors down. I need immediate EMS. Any way to find out from the police what the status of the shooter is? They are in the area, I don't know where they are.
Okay, you're reporting 2 down in the street. Looking for an ETA for police. Gotcha.
Any update whatsoever?
Stand by. Stand by, sir. Are you out of fire's way? Can you get out of safe? Can you get in a safe area?
Dispatcher, I am under cover of the fire truck, which I have tried to move down the street and has crashed. I am concerned about leaving the safe area I'm in to try to move down the street, but I need immediate EMS. Any word from the police? There are police in the area.
We're trying to get them to you now, sir.
Advise it's irrelevant to us, but the fires are going well involved and involving the houses. 312. I'm only speculating, but I believe, based on response time 197, but I'm not sure. 2 down. Yes, they're down and not good. Negative, and I'm in the danger zone right now, and I need immediate EMS, so I'm going to be joining them. Any word from the police on status of shooter or location? Any ideas? He was on the north side of the road on the berm in the lake. The fire's on the south side of the road. He was shooting from the north side with what I believe was a assault rifle or hunting rifle. That's speculating based on accuracy and distance. I'm struck in the lower back and lower leg, both of which I know can be deadly, so I need EMS.
Firefighter 312, how recent was the last shot?
Really shot at and it's crashed into a brick wall southeast of the scene. I am within 40 feet of a police car, but unknown in police status. That's what I'm looking for.
Firefighter 312, how long ago since the last shot?
Repeat, please.
How long has it been since the last shot?
3 minutes possibly. I go away. There's rapid shots at the vehicle I was attempting to escape in. Haven't heard anything since then.
Okay, sir.
312 the dispatcher.
Go ahead, sir.
From U of ALS units, at both ends of the scene.
That's affirmative.
312 the dispatcher. Number 1, any word from the police. Number 2, I am east of the scene, west of the scene, towards the runway. If I'm going to escape, it's going to be in that direction. Any word on police action and or shooter?
Negative, firefighter 312, standby.
C32 to fire dispatcher, make sure this channel's secured.
Channel secured.
This is firefighter 24. We're all right. We've moved down to the pump house. That is almost the Bay Road. 24.
How are you? I leave the area. The police have no idea where the shooter is. He's on foot. Who knows? Acknowledge. Is your knowledge of the police sign any idea on their status?
I don't know exactly. There's lots of people coming your direction.
The dispatcher.
Go ahead. 312.
312 125 to dispatcher command.
Go ahead.
Advise, I believe the 2 victims that are with me have not moved since they've been struck. They've been laying in the roadway, motionless since.
She's up.
Dispatcher, all units going to Lake Road. Only Only units on channel 3 are to be the units on scene. All stage equipment or equipment that's going to stage, go to channel 5. Channel 3 secured only for personnel on scene, 191 Lake Road. The remainder go to channel 5.
312 to 132. Go ahead, sir. I am at a crossroads of whether I should try to self-extricate, get EMS for these wounds that can truly eventually be mortal, or if I should wait for police. Any idea on status?
312, I have multiple police agencies in the area. We're waiting for the scene to be secured before we can come into you. Hang tight.
Alright, be advised I'm struck in the lower leg, knee area, and the lower left back.
Brother, hang tight.
To be advised I'm at 125, which is down the street on the embankment. Also be advised, I think you have 2 houses involved now, but the police are concerned that's there right now. 312 to dispatcher, any police updates?
Negative 312, they're still looking for him.
312 to 32. I am within 20 feet of my POV and strongly considering trying to make an escape to the west. Any ideas that that's a good idea?
29, go ahead.
Go ahead, 312.
I am confirming one of our victims is 197.
Any update on this stand?
Has not moved from being struck. Anything from the police side at all, anybody?
Sir, we have multiple police units on both ends of this road. They're to the scene.
Checking right now, Chief 105.
Repeat, dispatcher. 312 to dispatcher, repeat. 32. 312 to 1232. Sir. Unfortunately, I'm unable to identify our second victim. Unfortunately, I don't know who it was.
Confirm it's a firefighter.
Tactics, but I'm almost positive I saw 2 of our members get off the side of our vehicle and drop.
The brother, hang on.
312 to 1232.
Go ahead.
This is goofy, but is it possible to notify my next of kin in person of the situation? I have a hysterical mother.
Go ahead.
2 neighbors are in front of me. I don't know. I think they're walking on the street. They may help me try to escape. They're in my personal vehicle right now.
10-4.
I have no access to a portable. I'm not getting back in this rig, which is because it's been lines of shots sites on the other side. I will probably be going west of here within seconds.
You can see breeze on the other side of the outlet. If you need assistance, they can render it.
I need ALS assistance.
Firefighter 312, what kind of vehicle do you have?
Chevy Trailblazer.
Trailblazer, understood.
7-5. 312 to dispatcher. If I escape with a gray 2007 Chevy Trailblazer, ATV 5675.
312, they've been notified that you're on your way. They'll be looking for you.
So I really think that this Idaho incident is just really another prime example of having the need for that primary communications plan. Keep in mind, this happened on a mountainside that was obviously populated and had an active wildfire going on as a result of the suspect. So the need for an evacuation, at least for some of those people, was absolutely present, along with the threat of an unknown whereabouts of an armed killer. Again, extremely dynamic situation here, and you and hopefully your group, you have to be your own QRF. Achieving this through comms and coordination to establish an evac plan, provide your own security, and then execute it, that's quite an operation. And this is also a place where some drone recon could pay off big time as well. Just to possibly get the exact location of where the fire is, which way it's headed, or to find routes of travel. And if on that route there happens to be a law enforcement presence, how about calling 911 to get a message to them that, hey, we're out here and we're going to be evacuating to you. Here's our description. Here's the description of our vehicles. That way they don't take you as threatening when you pull up. Or maybe in case they were just getting ready to make their big move, they may tell you to, come come or go a particular way to avoid from hindering whatever it is they have going on. And getting back to in regards to the Webster, New York incident, everyone harps on the March algorithm, and I'm not knocking it. It is a key principle in tactical medicine that you need to have down pat. But as was utilized here is the importance of also conducting a remote assessment. If you were the tactical medic, what was the information you would be gathering from this? A huge amount of intel gathering is coming through here. First off, Firefighter 312 is an absolute freaking stud. And despite being shot and in an incredibly hostile environment, he identified what type of gun he believed the shooter was using, from where he believed the shooter was shooting from, that there were 2 additional firefighters shot, and from his vantage point that they were deceased, the severity and the location of where he was shot, the additional resources needed, both ALS and BLS ambulances, and his exact location. Not only that he was under the cover of a fire truck, because there were probably multiple fire trucks on the scene, but the fact that he was under the cover of the fire truck that was crashed into the brick wall southeast of the scene is just absolutely incredible. I also just mentioned with the Idaho incident that in the worst of times, you're probably going to have to be your own QRF. Well, here it is. This dude comes up with his own self-evacuation plan and relays it so that everyone else knows what he's thinking. Kind of unintentionally is making the argument for more secure comms here, but that's not what we're focusing on. But it's certainly just another takeaway to keep in mind. He also keeps relaying where he is shot. He knows he is in serious trouble. The remote assessment doesn't even have to be just with eyes on, just listening to this radio traffic. We follow that old adage of risk a lot to save a lot. Well, we know this dude is alive. We know he is shot twice. And if we listen to the way he's talking, the cadence is getting slower and the speech is becoming slurred, probably due to the fact that he's bleeding out and going into hypovolemic shock. So we are certainly working on a time clock in order to save him. And this goes right into the importance of carrying a tourniquet. And it doesn't have to be just be in the tactical community anymore. I'm talking firefighters in turnout gear having a tourniquet in your bunker pants. And if firefighters are being targeted, these shooters do not care who they're shooting at or why they're shooting at. So it is important for everyone to have a tourniquet that they are competent in using, because if you are in a true ambush, I'm sorry, there is no way to really prepare for an ambush. You're going to get caught off guard. That's the whole point of it. In the tactical communities, there's really 2 ways to respond to it, either dropping back and regrouping or fighting through it. But especially in this scenario, you're talking about unarmed firefighters who are there for a totally different reason. There's no way to kind of have enough situational awareness going on to prepare you for that. But I will say now, the tourniquet that I like to carry is the Snake Staff Systems tourniquet. Now, granted, I do like cat tourniquets and the soft tees as well, but the reason I choose this everyday carry tourniquet is simply because of, really, its size. It's roughly the size of a Gerber multi-tool, which allows me to carry it comfortably in the ankle pockets of my uniform. Or even if I have to stick it into a small bag, it does so with taking up minimal space. I also really like the windlass retention system they have incorporated on it, and the fact that it uses this carabiner style type windlass lock. If you've been trained with cats, you know that the technique for once the windlass is secured with the windlass strap, that we then continue to wrap the Velcro band around it, just helps secure it that much more. But it is amazing how many times people forget about that strap once the windlass is in the windlass holding clips. And with the soft tees, that little triangle, that can just be a huge pain in the ass. So this thing is so easy. And once that windlass is pressed into that latch, it's awesome. It's done. I love it. Another really cool thing about this is this integrated chem light that it has. It automatically cracks upon application of this. And yes, this is nice for night operations, but probably more importantly, there's always this debate over which color tourniquets do we use operationally? Which ones do we use for training? Is it better to have more covert ones so they can be carried wherever? Or do we go with overt ones who, as medical care is handed down the line, they aren't missed and forgotten about? I think that this chem light being here solves all of those issues. So that's just my opinions on the Idaho incident and the Webster, New York incident, which are eerily similar. I'll be very interested to see what they can gather as far as the motivation for this attack. Please let me know your thoughts on any or all of this in the comments. Guys, July 4th is literally around the corner. We know large gatherings of people, prime targets. Don't live your life in fear. Just be prepared to respond to a crisis. And again, be prepared to operate as your own QRF. And with that, be safe.